What is the landscape looking like in Southeast Asia, UAE, India? I pose this question to Sudhakar Tomar, who's president of India Middle East Agro Trade Industry and Investment Forum. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Food is a socio-political economic subject for any country, especially more so for India. And in a country where 7 out of 10 people are involved directly or indirectly in agriculture, so the output has to match the economic growth of a country. So in that, we have India Middle East Agri Alliance, which together with its cohort, Bharat Subcontinent Agri Foundation, South Asia Agri Forum, has become a multilateral trade platform, agri-trade platform for promoting bilateral or say across the border trade and investment. Together we represent close to 1,600 corporates and 50 million farmers from member nations. And our mandate is simple but ambitious, to create opportunities between UAE and India food security corridor. Find relevant agri-food farming tech startups who are doing meaningful work, and at the same time contribute to regional food security dialogue and make sure that affordable food is available at the right price to the needy populations at all points of time.
The other two buzzwords clearly have been value addition and supply chain. How is that being managed within India and outside too?
So it is a very interesting subject. I mean, we see that in India has done fantastic when it comes to exports. Last year we crossed $50 billion in exports. But at the same time, we have also imported close to $25 billion worth of merchandises. So I feel that there is a need to export more than the basic staples, where to shift to high value added primary agri exports, and for that the food processing bit or the value addition bit will come in the play through the handiwork of these three initiatives which both the countries have launched.
Within India as well, where there's been a lot of thrust with the agriculture prices, ensuring availability. We've seen so many measures come in because of that. And now you have festivities going forward. You also have elections coming into the next year. How tough is the government going to be on the trade, looking at and ensuring that the prices stay where they are?
So every government has this tough task of making sure that the farmers are remunerated, rightly so, for the produce, and at the same time also make affordable, nutritious food to all its citizens. So it's a tough balance between two, especially for a complex country of 1.4 billion people like us. So they have to be very watchful to make sure that the prices remain in check because of these situations, and also certain things which are not in the control, like weather, which we are seeing February is not progressing very well. But at the same time, I feel that alarm is not that much. I think we still have good 35 to 40 days to see how the weather progresses.
Finally, going forward now, while we, of course, are looking at El Nino as a concern, and the monsoon season is not too far away, and this is a season that India really depends a lot on for its agriculture, would you think that this is a time to perhaps start making Plan B right from now?
So a long-term futuristic policy for any product is good. So absolutely, of course, all the departments and all the entities, including private trade, they have to be watchful, see what is missing, and we should have a plan to absorb any shocks if they appear. So the weather has to be watched very carefully for next 3 to 4 weeks.
I'll wind down the conversation just with one more thing. How would you look at the overall agri-inflation number right now? Because while we have seen some of the commodity prices stay where they are, some of them have declined quite sharply as well, but the international inflation is something that we also tend to import. How would you look at the overall food basket from here on? Are there any concerns according to you?
So overall, because of weather concerns, geopolitical issues of Ukraine and Russia, the situation is not all that good. I mean, we have seen in recent past the food import bill of the world climbing to almost $2 trillion, which is very high compared to the previous years. So it is an alarming situation, and I hope that the escalation between Ukraine, Russia, and weather concern improve so that we have less tough times.
All right, as mentioned that the world food import bill is at a $2 trillion, which has been quite on the higher side, and the kind of concerns that are in the market, the country should be ready to absorb all those shocks, of course, is the word coming in from Sudhakar Tomar. And pulses are an important food crop in India as they provide protein to the predominant